Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're dedicating the entire list to one brand, and not just any brand. Citizen is one of the most technically accomplished, most consistently innovative, and most genuinely underappreciated watch manufacturers on the planet. Founded in Tokyo in 1918 with the stated ambition of making fine watchmaking accessible to every citizen of the world, this is a company that invented light-powered quartz technology, pioneered radio-controlled timekeeping, and has been quietly building movements of exceptional quality for over a century, all while keeping prices at a level that the Swiss industry can only look at with a mixture of admiration and discomfort. Today we're counting down 10 of the finest Citizen watches available right now, across every category the brand excels in. From solar-powered divers to in-house mechanical masterpieces, these are 10 timepieces that prove Citizen has never needed anyone's validation to be exceptional. Let's get into it. Number 10. Citizen Attesa BY1007 The Citizen Attesa BY1007 opens today's list as perhaps the least internationally recognized watch on it, and almost certainly the one that will produce the most genuine surprise in anyone encountering it for the first time. The Attesa line is Citizen's premium dress and business watch range, produced primarily for the Japanese domestic market, and the BY1007 represents its most technically sophisticated expression, a super titanium case and bracelet finished to a standard of polish and refinement that makes Swiss dress watches at twice the price look carefully at their own finishing. Super titanium is Citizen's proprietary surface-hardened titanium alloy, 5 times harder than standard stainless steel and 40% lighter on the wrist, and the difference in daily wearing comfort is immediate and unmistakable. The eco-drive movement inside is radio-controlled to atomic time signals, meaning the BY1007 sets itself to within 1 second of absolute accuracy automatically every single night, without any input from the wearer. The slim, elegant case profile and the sophisticated, restrained dial with its applied indices and perpetual calendar functionality create an overall impression of executive-level refinement that is entirely consistent with the Attesa's Japanese market positioning as the watch of choice for senior professionals and corporate leadership. Number 9. Citizen EcoDrive Promaster Professional Diver BJ805008E. The Citizen EcoDrive Promaster Professional Diver BJ805008E arrives at number 9 as a watch that takes the word professional with complete seriousness, and then delivers on every implication of that word without hesitation. The BJ8050 is not a dive-inspired sports watch designed to look capable while spending its days in conference rooms and coffee shops. It is an ISO 6425 certified professional diver, a classification that requires passing a rigorous set of standardized tests covering water resistance, legibility, magnetic resistance, shock resistance, and strap security that the vast majority of watches calling themselves dive watches would fail comprehensively. The 200-meter water resistance, the unidirectional bezel with its precise clicks, the screw-down crown, and the high-visibility luminous dial are all components of a functional system, not aesthetic choices borrowed from professional dive equipment, but genuine engineering decisions made for real underwater use. The EcoDrive movement inside adds the dimension that separates Citizen's professional tools from the competition, a light-powered caliber that eliminates battery failure as a variable entirely, ensuring that a watch trusted underwater is never compromised by a dead cell at an inconvenient depth. Number 8. Citizen Promaster Mechanical Diver NY0040. The Citizen Promaster Mechanical Diver NY0040 is the watch on today's list that speaks most directly to the collector who values mechanical integrity above all else, the purist who wants a movement that winds, a rotor that spins, and a watch that runs on the fundamental physics of coiled metal and regulated energy rather than light cells and electronics. And the NY0040 delivers that mechanical experience wrapped in a package of such robust, purposeful capability that it competes immediately and convincingly with Japanese and Swiss mechanical divers, costing considerably more. The 200-meter water resistance is backed by a case construction built to the exacting standards of Citizen's professional Promaster line, and the bold, high-contrast dial with its luminous markers and hands provides the immediate legibility that a genuine dive instrument requires. The automatic movement inside, Citizen's own caliber, provides reliable, dependable timekeeping with the satisfying exhibition case back revealing the rotor at work with every movement of the wrist. The overall aesthetic sits confidently in the tradition of the great Japanese professional dive watches, honest, purposeful, and entirely without the self-consciousness of watches that merely reference diving culture as a stylistic borrowing. Number 7. Citizen Ecodrive Promaster CBN015109L. The Citizen Ecodrive Promaster CBN015109L is the watch that defines what a no-compromise everyday dive watch looks and feels like when a manufacturer with Citizen's technical depth and commitment to accessible pricing decides to build one without cutting a single corner. The BN0150 wears its capabilities immediately and without apology. The 200-meter water resistance, the unidirectional bezel with its satisfying action and clear markings, and the bold sunburst blue dial with its luminous markers and hands present the complete visual and functional language of a serious dive watch in a package that sits on the wrist with a sporting ease and comfort that more expensive alternatives frequently fail to achieve. The Ecodrive caliber inside is the element that elevates the BN0150 beyond its direct competition, a movement that harvests light continuously, stores energy in a titanium lithium-ion cell, and never requires a battery change in the lifetime of normal ownership. For a watch that will be worn swimming, diving, surfing, sailing, or simply living the kind of active outdoor life that dive watches were designed for, the removal of battery management from the ownership equation is not a minor convenience. It is a fundamental improvement in the reliability and trustworthiness of the instrument. Number 6. Citizen Promaster Nighthawk CB3059E. The Citizen Promaster Nighthawk CB3059E is a watch for people who understand that aviation timekeeping is a discipline with its own logic, its own visual language, and its own demanding functional requirements, and who want a watch that meets all of them at a price that doesn't require the aviation salary to match. The Nighthawk's defining characteristic is the combination of its dual time zone functionality, its slide rule bezel, and its radio-controlled Ecodrive movement, a combination that makes it one of the most practically capable pilot's watches in its price class by a considerable margin. The slide rule bezel is not a decorative reference to aviation heritage, but a genuine analog calculator capable of performing fuel consumption calculations, unit conversions, and speed-distance time computations that remain relevant to pilots who understand how to use them. The radio-controlled atomic timekeeping ensures accuracy to within 1 second that self-corrects automatically to time signal broadcasts, which for a watch used to track flight times and time zones carries genuine practical significance. Number 5. Citizen Ecodrive Chandler AW0130 86X. The Citizen Ecodrive Chandler AW0130 86X sits at number 5 as the watch on today's list that makes the most compelling case for Citizen's ability to deliver genuine style and contemporary design confidence alongside the technical credentials the brand is celebrated for. Where much of the Promaster range communicates its value through specification and capability, the Chandler communicates through presence, the kind of clean, well-proportioned, visually assured design that sits equally naturally in a professional meeting room and a weekend setting without ever feeling misplaced in either. The 43mm stainless steel case strikes a confident contemporary profile, and the dark dial with its subtle detailing and applied hour markers carries a sophistication and depth that the price point has no business providing. The chronograph layout is clean and uncluttered, avoiding the over-instrumented busyness that so many sports chronographs mistake for purposefulness, and the overall visual balance communicates a design restraint that feels genuinely considered rather than cost-driven. The Ecodrive movement inside, as always with Citizen's light-powered calibers, removes the battery question permanently and ensures that a watch this attractive to wear is also entirely reliable in daily use. Number 4. Citizen Promaster Skyhawk A T JY8078 02L. The Citizen Promaster Skyhawk A T JY8078 02L is, without any reasonable qualification, one of the most technically accomplished watches available at any price in its category, a statement that becomes only more remarkable when you consider what that category actually demands and what the JY8078 delivers within it. The Skyhawk AT is Citizen's flagship aviation watch, and the specification it carries reflects that position without any concession to cost-cutting. Multi-band atomic timekeeping that receives radio signals from 6 transmitters worldwide and self-synchronizes automatically in over 40 countries, perpetual calendar accurate through the year 2100, world time display across 43 cities, a slide rule bezel for aviation calculations, chronograph functionality, and an Ecodrive solar cell that powers the entire system from ambient light indefinitely. The complexity of what the JY8078 manages to coordinate, display, and execute simultaneously, all from a light-powered movement that never needs a battery, is genuinely extraordinary from an engineering perspective, and Citizen packages all of it in a case and bracelet of such substantial, well-finished quality that the watch wears with the authority its specification demands. Number 3. Citizen Series 880 Mechanical NJ0100 81A, the Citizen Series 8880. Mechanical NJ0100 81A arrives at number 3 as the watch that demonstrates most completely and most beautifully what Citizen's mechanical watchmaking is genuinely capable of when the brief is to build something exceptional rather than merely accessible. The Series 8 8880 takes the already impressive foundations of the Series 8 collection and refines them further, the 880 designation referencing the caliber NH8800 movement inside, Citizen's most accomplished in-house automatic, beating at 800 vibrations per hour with a smoothness and precision that the seconds hand communicates instantly to anyone who has spent time with high-quality mechanical watches. The case and bracelet finishing on the NJ0100 81A is the element that commands the most attention and rewards the most scrutiny. Every surface transition, from polish to satin, from case to bracelet, from lug to case flank, is executed with a precision and intentionality that speaks of genuine manufacture pride rather than production line assembly. The dial, with its layered depth and restrained applied detailing, achieves a visual sophistication that contextualizes the NJ0100 81A not as an affordable alternative to more expensive Japanese mechanical watches, but as a peer to them, a watch that belongs in the conversation entirely on its own merits. Number 2. Citizen Tsuyosa NJ0150 81E. The Citizen Tsuyosa NJ0150 81E arrives at number 2 as perhaps the most immediate and the most viscerally appealing watch on today's entire list. A timepiece that announces its intentions from the first glance and delivers on every one of them with a confidence and quality that its price makes genuinely startling. Tsuyosa translates from Japanese as strong and powerful, and the design brief is written into every visible element of the watch. The bold, integrated style bracelet flowing directly from the angular case with a purposefulness that references the celebrated sports watch designs of the 1970s. The deep blue sunburst dial with a texture and color saturation that catches and holds light with remarkable complexity, and the overall presence on the wrist that occupies space with the assured solidity of a watch costing far more than it does. The caliber NH35 automatic movement inside provides reliable, honest mechanical timekeeping with a 41-hour power reserve and the exhibition caseback that reveals the rotor at work, a window into the mechanics that reinforces the Tsuyosa's identity as a watch that wears its mechanical nature with pride rather than concealing it behind a solid caseback. Number 1. Citizen Promaster Diver BN0150 28E. The Citizen Promaster Diver BN0150 28E takes the top position on today's list, and the reason comes down to a single powerful truth that this watch embodies more completely than any other Citizen in the current catalog. It is the perfect watch. Not perfect in the sense of flawless or without compromise, but perfect in the original sense of the word, meaning complete, finished, lacking nothing that it should have, and carrying nothing that it shouldn't. The BN0150 has been available in various iterations for years, and in that time it has accumulated one of the most devoted and enthusiastic followings of any watch at any price. A following built entirely on the experience of actually wearing it every single day and finding, repeatedly and without exception, that it simply never lets you down. The specification is honest and complete. 200-meter water resistance, a unidirectional bezel with satisfying, precise action, a bold and instantly legible dial with luminous markers, and hands that glow with genuine intensity in low-light conditions, a screw-down crown that provides genuine security, and an eco-drive solar movement that converts any light into stored energy and removes battery replacement from the ownership equation permanently. The stainless steel case and bracelet are finished with a no-nonsense solidity that suits the watch's tool character completely, and the overall wearing experience, the weight, the bracelet articulation, the bezel feel, the crown action, communicates a build quality that justifies and then exceeds every expectation the price creates. This is not a watch that makes excuses for itself.